Hello everyone, I am Shweta doing first MSc Microbiology. We are going to discuss about lymphoid system. Lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a network of vessels, nodes and ducts that pass through almost all the bodily tissues. It allows the circulation of a fluid called lymph through the body in a similar way to blood. It plays a key role in fighting disease. The lymphatic system is essential for fluid balance, absorption of fatty acids in the stomach, and immune system regulation. There are 500 to 600 lymph nodes throughout the body. These nodes swell in response to infection due to a buildup of lymph fluid, bacteria, or other organisms and immune system cells. As blood circulates throughout the body, blood plasma leaks into tissues through the thin walls of the capillaries. The portion of blood plasma that escapes is called interstitial or extracellular fluid, and it also contains oxygen, glucose, amino acids, and other nutrients needed by the tissue cells. Classification of lymphoid organs. There are two classifications of lymphoid organs on the basis of roles played by the organs in the development of immune system or trigger a response. There are two kinds of organs: primary lymphoid organs and the secondary lymphoid organs. On the basis of location, lymphoid organs are of two kinds: internal lymphoid organ and the external lymphoid organs. Primary lymphoid organs. The organs in which the production of the cells of the immune system occurs are known as primary lymphoid organs. It is also known as central lymphoid organs. They include thymus and the bone marrow. Thymus. The thymus is a gland-like organ that is situated at the back of the heart and above the breastbone. It is the site for the maturation of the thymus cell lymphocytes, also known as T cells. The thymus gives a suitable environment for the production of T cells from the hematopoietic progenitor cells. This gland reaches its full maturity during the childhood. As adulthood commences, it is replaced by fatty or adipose tissue. The T cells coordinate the innate and adaptive immune systems. This is the picture of thymus. The thymus gland is a pinkish gray in appearance. It is made up of two irregularly shaped parts, that is lobes. The lobes have lot of small bumps called lobulus on the surface. The thymus gland is quite big in babies and children. It reaches its full weight of about 1 ounce during puberty. After puberty, it begins to shrink, and in older adults, it rather small. The function of the thymus gland is to train a special white blood cells called T lymphocytes or T cells. The thymus produces and releases several hormones including thymopoietin, thymosin and thymolin, and the thymic humoral factor. Bone marrow. Bone marrow is a primary lymphoid organ, and it is a spongy tissue found in the bones. It is the site for the production of precursors of T cells and the production and maturations of B cells. These cells then transported to other organs and tissues via blood to carry out their function. The red bone marrow is found in abundance during the time of birth, and it actively produces immune system cells, but over time the red bone marrow converts to fatty tissues. In adults, only the pelvis, ribs, and breastbone have red bone marrow. The B cells are produced and matured in the bone marrow immediately and travel to the circulatory system in search of pathogens. The T cells are also involved in the process of apoptosis, which is called as cell death. And this is the picture of bone marrow. There are three parts of the anatomy of the bones: compact bone, spongy bone, and the bone marrow. Compact bone is the strong outer layer of the bone. Spongy bone makes up the ends of the bones. Bone marrow is in the center of most bones and in the end of the spongy bones in the body. Bone marrow and blood vessels fill cavities in the bones where they store fat and stem cells and produce blood cells that make the whole blood. Secondary lymphoid organs. Secondary lymphoid organs, also known as peripheral lymphoid organs, the function of secondary lymphoid organs is the activation of immune cells and to start a fight against foreign substance in our body. It includes spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, and the mucosal membrane. The first one is spleen. The spleen is an organ that is found in all vertebrates. It is found in the left upper abdomen below the diaphragm. The spleen performs various kinds of functions such as it houses different kinds of immune system cells such as lymphocytes and the phagocytes. They are transported to other organs via blood when it is required. It breaks down the RBCs in newborns, the spleen synthesizes RBCs, but soon bone marrow takes over the process of hematopoiesis. It stores and breaks down platelets, which are important for blood clotting. The phagocytes act as a filter for germs or microbes that enter the bloodstream. This is the picture of spleen. There are two parts of the spleen. They each do different jobs. The types of tissue in the spleen are white pulp and the red pulp. The white pulp, as a part of the immune system, the white pulp produces white blood cells. These blood cells makes antibodies. Antibodies fight against the infection. And the red pulp acts like a filter. It removes waste from the blood and gets rid of old or damaged blood cells. Red pulp also destroys bacteria and viruses. The second one is lymph node. The lymph nodes are bean-shaped tissues found along the lines of the lymphatic vessels. They act as filters that trap the germs that lead to activation of antibodies in the blood. There are around 800 lymph nodes found in our body, out of which 300 are found in the head and the neck region. Lymph nodes are also found in the armpits and the abdominal areas. T cells concrete in the inner cortex, such as parent cortex, and B cells are organized in germinal centers in the outer cortex. Lymph, along with the antigens, drains into the node through afferent lymphatic vessels and percolates through the lymph node, where it comes in contact with and activates lymphocytes. Activated lymphocytes carried in the lymph exit the node through the efferent vessels and eventually enter the bloodstream, which distributes them throughout the body. This is the picture of lymph node. The lymph nodes are small lumps of tissues that contain white blood cells which fight against infection. They are the part of the body's immune system. They filter the lymph fluid, which is composed of fluid and waste products created by the body tissues. The lymph nodes helps to fight against the infections. Third one is tonsils. The tonsils are located at the throat region, form an important part of the immune system. The location of the tonsils is such that it prevents germs from entering the mouth and the nose. They have white blood cells that helps in fighting germs. This is the picture of tonsils. The left side is normal tonsils and the right side is inflamed tonsils. The tonsils is fighting against the infection. The tonsils contains a lot of white blood cells which helps to kill the germs. As the tonsils are in the back of your throat, they can catch germs that enter the body through your nose and the mouth. Mucosal membranes. The mucosal associated lymphoid tissue, which is known as MALT, is a small concentration of lymphoid tissue found in submucosal membranes such as thyroid, breast, nasopharynx, salivary glands, gastrointestinal tract, eyes, and the skin. They contain B cells, T cells, and macrophages that encounter germs or pathogens that enter the mucosal epithelium. It, it provides a barrier against foreign particles, capture them in its sticky mucus and clears them out. Immune cells are natural antibiotics in the mucus defend against pathogens, while the lubrication defend against injury. In the stomach and bladder, the mucosa protects from the abrasive effect of the body's own stomach acid and urine. In the uterus, the mucosa, which is called as endometrium, thickens to protect new eggs and sheds to clear out the unfertilized eggs. In some places, the mucosa also absorbs, for example, it helps break down odors in your nose and nutrients in your digestive systems. Thank you for your patience.